dies just days after she was attacked at an ATM in the Bronx. And good evening, everyone. At 5 o'clock. I'm Bill Ridley. I'm Sandra Bookman in for Sade. Investigators say this attack all started because Tamara Sinclair wouldn't let a stranger into the vestibule of an ATM. She died 11 days later. Now, New York police are not only looking for the 3 people involved in the attack, they're also investigating the officers who responded to that assault. Eyewitness News reporter Naveen Dhaliwal is live this evening in the Pelham Parkway section with the story. Naveen?
Yeah, Sandra, police say Tamara Sinclair died from a blood clot, and it's unclear tonight if that blood clot was caused by injuries allegedly from this attack. Now, this is thought to happen here at the Bank of America. This is on Pelham Parkway at White Plains Road, and Tamara was using the ATM here, and she told family members that she was being followed.
She meant a lot. This is something that this hurts.
Kashia Sinclair, letting out the tears, the pain, trying to deal with the loss of her older sister, Tamara.
She was a good person, and she meant something special to me.
Police say back on February 11th that Tamara Sinclair was attacked by these 3 women as she tried to use the ATM at the Bank of America on Pelham Parkway.
Unfortunately, during that dispute, a struggle ensued, and she ended up breaking her ankle.
When officers arrived, they found Tamara on the ground with pain to her ankle and leg, but she declined medical attention. Officers spoke to those 3 women allegedly involved in the attack who claimed Tamara stole a debit card and wouldn't let them into the ATM vestibule. After questioning them, officers let them go. Those actions now under investigation by the NYPD.
It's an ongoing investigation, and we're looking into the initial response from Patron, who was there, and making sure we didn't make any mistakes during that interview.
More than a week after the attack, Tamara, once Miss Jamaica in the 90s and a nurse attendant at St. Luke's, went to the hospital and left without further testing. She was found dead at home the next day, leaving her family with heartbreak and emptiness.
I was so alone. We talked every day, and I can't call her right now. And I just want whoever did this to be caught.
And police are looking for video in hopes of the public, or hopes to get it out to the public so they can identify these 3 females. And as they do that, the medical examiner's office will determine Tamara's exact cause of death. We're live in Pelham Parkway, Naveen Dhaliwal, Channel 7, Eyewitness
News. Another episode of When Thug Thoughts Attack. Hey, what's going on, guys? So before I get to this dastardly story, I have to hook you guys up with another story. This is actually a story that was featured on I believe it's a cable TV series, I don't know which network, in a drama series called Snapped, that I believe follows cases where women have murdered people and done other violent crimes. I don't know when exactly it was featured on there, but one of you brothers shared this story with me. I believe that was late last week, and I looked into it, and while like I said, I get over 100 different links to different stories from you guys every month at least, if not more, and I can't cover everything, but this caught my eye because this, even though it's a story that's over 8 years old, it's a story about this, I believe, Florida swirler that she stalked and eventually wound up brutally murdering her Hispanic ex-boyfriend, after he broke up with her in 2011. She stalked him, she harassed him, she vandalized his property. He tried to move, from one apartment to the next. He tried to, call the police and get a restraining order. But this bimbo was very intent. She was very, determined to make this guy's life a living hell because he didn't want to ghetto gag her no more. So, he finally gave in, which was the biggest mistake he could have made, and agreed to get back with her, but only as friends. He invited her to a date sometime in 2012, a year after they broke up, and said, okay, we can get back together, but only as friends. No, no more ghetto gagging. And when she found out she wasn't about to get that Latin dick, when she found out she wasn't gonna get that Latin stallion, that Latin burrito, she went off. Came back to his apartment the next day and shot his ass 9 times in his apartment. Kind of like that black female that was the psychologist that specialized in anger management in Arkansas, remember? She found out that the pastor that she was the side hoe with, she found out he wasn't going to leave his wife, and she went off. A psychologist that specializes in anger management, and killed a married man because he wouldn't leave his wife for her stinking ass. I done told y'all, man, these hoes are crazy, but I focused in on this because, this really solidifies why, some people who've come to my comment section have made little snide remarks about me being part of doll culture as a hashtag Marlboro man, and a thorough believer in the, Marlboro man philosophy of living life, which is that I, as a man, do not need a woman to, get through life, to survive life, to thrive in life, or feel good about life. I can do pretty much anything that I need without a female companion. A lot of men don't feel that way. Some men don't even feel like a man unless they're dealing with these crazy ass bitches. I'm not one of them. So this case, and these two met in the Navy, but this case really solidifies my belief system that nowadays things are different than they were 2, 3, 4 even generations ago, where women, and particularly black women, had some measure of respect for men, particularly black men. I know this was a Hispanic, but we're seeing case after case where these females, they're going off. Women, they love to play the victim, but the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of these females, and I've met some of them, they get violently offended. I mean, they get insanely offended if they're ignored, if they're dumped. I mean, I've told you guys of stories where literally I've walked past black hoes that I don't even know. We're perfect strangers with each other, and they call themselves snapping off on me, or being, some other way showing that they're offended because I didn't say hi to them as if I owed them something. So, anyway, that link, if you want to check that video out, check it out after this commentary. Click the link down in the description box as well as the pinned post. And that is a video that is available now on FS Avenger and BitChute. The link, as always, is to the FS Avenger video. Now, so this case of this former Miss Jamaica beauty pageant contestant that was indirectly, or at least it seems that she was indirectly beaten to death. Again, the autopsy results have not come back yet, but police at least believe that her death days after she was jumped and brutally beaten by these two Cardi B Puerto Rico thoughts and this black thug thought was the result of her being beaten up, or the beating resulted indirectly in her death from a blood clot. Now, these charges may be dropped or downgraded once the medical examiner in whatever county that New York City is, in, examines the body and finds the direct cause of death, it may very well be, just being thorough and honest, it could very well be that this woman had a blood clot that was going to kill her anyway, whether she got beat up by these thug of thoughts or not. But when I saw this story, and I find it a little interesting that, we all know about, the what I call the thought bot or the thug thought. For me, the thought bot is a black female that is, she's like, she's a thought, and sometimes she's a bot. A thug thought, though, is a thought that's more of a bot than a thought. And I guess a thought bot is more of, like I said, a thought than a bot, if that makes sense. I know I'm confusing some of y'all, but what I mean is you have some of these females out there that most of what they do is they just go around being whores, on Instagram, across social media, and, on the street, escort services, just for attention at the club, at work, in the corporate office, in school. But, they will get in drama and fight every now and then. But then you have some of these females that are just like these little troublemaking degenerates that, they fuck, they have illegitimate children, but their main MO is going around starting trouble. And, sometimes it's with dudes, but a lot of times it's with females. And a lot of times it's with females that they don't like because they're jealous of them. And I remember telling you guys not too long ago that I really don't understand this pushback by these black simps that come at people like me, or, just over the years, all the drama because of the attitude that me and other woke brothers have. Because and I think even Mr. Carroll had brought this up, what these idiots don't seem to understand is that while, yes, a lot of these females will stand unified, against us when we're speaking out against them, what you will notice, even if you listen to Egypt in, when they get behind closed doors, or when they get where they think they're just in their little space amongst other females, anybody can tell you this. Anybody can tell you this, especially black females. Nobody despises other black females more than black females. I mean, I honestly think they hate each other more than they hate us. Honestly. And don't let there be a pretty girl. Looking at this, whatever her name was, Tamara Sinclair, when she was younger, at least, she was a little cutie pie. Miss Jamaica, she looked like she was a yellow bone, but she was very attractive, as you saw in that picture. And, looked like she fell off a little bit in that older picture, but she still looked like she had some looks. Now, it may not have had anything to do with that. These what appeared to be two Puerto Rican, like I said, Cardi B wannabe thug thoughts, and this black thug thought that, of course, they would put on the front of the New York Post, the face of crime. you know they love doing that shit. But these three claim that this woman stole a debit card from them. That's a lie, because what the fuck were they doing? All three of them sharing the same debit card, and under whose name was it? The girl, she claimed she was being followed. Look, anybody from any one of these major cities like New York or, my hometown of Chicago will tell you, when you're in certain neighborhoods, you got to be careful, especially if you have something to lose. Money, looks, status, and don't let it be that somebody knows that you have something, whether they can physically see it or whether they just know about you. I don't know what were the circumstances leading up to this assault. But you know, it could have been something as simple as this girl just walking down a sidewalk in fucking New York. I forget what. Oh yeah, Bronx. It says right there. I said I don't know what borough. That was stupid. It could have just been this girl was just walking down the sidewalk, minding her own business, and these three bitches saw her and was like, "Bitch, what you looking at?" And she just walked past them, didn't say nothing, and they started following her, and they decided they was gonna try to rob her or something. And she went into the ATM. She might have went into the bank vestibule to get away from them or something, because they said they wouldn't let her into the little vestibule where the ATM was. Those things usually lock automatically, I think. But could have been she was just trying to get away from them, and they jumped her trying to rob her. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that this was probably a strong-armed robbery that went bad. That's what I'm thinking. Cause she probably was walking down the street, looked like she probably dressed nicely, probably looked like she had some money, and these females they took offense to that, like that nursing home thought took offense to me walking past her and ignoring her like she didn't exist. So you have a lot of ne'er-do-wells out here, a lot of these socially inept rejects, most of whom should have never been born, that they know nobody gives a fuck about them, and they're angry, they're mad at the world, and they're looking to start trouble any chance in any place that they get. And these aren't just black males. Prior to what society would have you believe, the black male is not the face of crime. Okay, you have a lot of these little thug ass bitches out here too, and the dark skinned ones. You have these little light skinned, like I said, Cardi B, Latino, African, hookers out here. I mean, you have these white trash, these wigger types. I mean, you got to be careful, and that's why I am a vehement self-defense practitioner, and I am vehemently in favor of the Second Amendment. Huge advocate for self-defense. I've been trying to get my sister, who lives out in Southern California, I've been trying to convince her, because her job takes her a lot of different places and requires her to go around in LA mainly on foot, and by she uses rideshare services. And I tell her, man, I mean, you need to have something, brass knuckles, a knife, mace. You need to have something to protect yourself. And because you never know. Like when I had to draw my firearm in self-defense, I had no idea that was going to happen. It just happened at random. I was literally walking down the street, minding my own fucking business, getting ready to go into an establishment. Well, actually, I went into an establishment. I was coming out when I was accosted by this guy. And I mean, if I hadn't have had the means to defend myself, only the universe knows what might have happened in that situation. So this woman, again, I think I don't know if there's more to the story, but I also don't know if the blood clot had anything to do with her death. But the fact is, she was assaulted by these two Puerto Rican and this one black thug thought, and regardless, she's dead now. And we'll see where this case winds up. I'm thinking that the defense is going to have a very good case. Those murder charges are likely going to be downgraded, because it's going to be very hard to prove that these little whores murdered that girl, because she died days after the fact. She, to my knowledge at least, I don't think she was in the hospital when she died from the blood clot. And it could have just been that she had a pre-existing condition, or a blood clot just formed. Even if the blood clot did form because of her injuries, they said she hurt her ankle in the melee, but there was no indication that she had been badly beaten, just as she had fell and hurt her ankle. So, and injuries from anywhere on your body can cause blood clots. They're rare, but they do happen. So it's going to be very hard for them to get a murder conviction in this case, in my opinion. But again, it's like my dad said with O.J. Simpson's ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and that Ronald Goldman guy. He said, I don't know if O.J. Simpson did it or not, but he said if Nicole or Ronald had had a 38, to this day, we would have known who tried to slit their throat, because they would have been laying there in a pool of blood instead of, Nicole and Ronald Goldman. So anyway, let me see what this fucking article is saying. It says a 21-year-old woman is facing a murder charge after she helped fatally beat a woman at a Bronx ATM 2 weeks ago, police said. Victim Tamara Sinclair, 43, died late last week after getting a blood clot from her injuries during the Baychester assault, according to police. But let me say this, that is not accurate, okay? The police don't know for sure if she died of a blood clot. They're not going to know. Well, they know she died from the blood clot. What I'm saying is they don't know if the blood clot was caused by her getting beat up a few days later, okay? Because this happened a whole week after she was jumped in the ATM vestibule. We'll see. But it says cops arrested Rain Harney on Thursday evening and held on $250,000 bail when she appeared in Bronx Supreme Court Friday, according to authorities. The encounter happened just after 10:30 p.m. February 11th, when Harney and two unidentified friends started banging on the glass of the vestibule, wanting Sinclair to let them into the TD Bank on White Plains Road near Pelham Parkway South, police said. A startled Sinclair refused and fled across the street where the group beat her up, cops said. Yeah, this sounds like strong-arm robbery. Like they probably saw the girl on the street, and she probably went in there to get away from them, and they were trying to get in there to strong-arm rob her, and she should, I don't know how they got into the place where the ATM was, but she should have stayed in there and called the police. I don't know what she was thinking running across the street. And unless there's more to this story, there could very well be more to this story. I don't know. But yeah, this sounds like some strong arm robbery type shit right here, cause I don't know. That jealousy stuff usually happens over social media. Again, we won't know until the investigation's wrapped up, but says Harney allegedly wrapped her arm around Sinclair's neck and shoulders, throwing her to the ground, according to the criminal complaint. When Sinclair tried to get up, one of Harney's unknown friends kicked her, and the other friend robbed the woman while she laid on the ground. Yep. See, come on, dude. Y'all, am I a prophet or what? Or am I just smarter than the average Negro? Before I even read that about robbed, I said this sounds like a strong-arm robbery. I said that without even reading this article. Damn, I'm accurate. The attackers kept pushing Sinclair to the ground as she tried to get up, and eventually shoved her down numbers stairs, according to the complaint. Yeah, that might have caused a blood clot. EMS treated the woman for her injuries at the scene, and she was released without filing a police report. Why wouldn't she file a police report? Now, hold on now. If you get jumped by 3 thugs that you don't know, wouldn't you file a police report? There might be more to this story than meets the eye. I don't know. That kind of makes me raise my eyebrow a little bit at the victim. Why didn't she file a police report? Over the next few days, Sinclair filed a police report. Oh, okay. So she waited some days to file a police report. Maybe she was in shock. Okay. I was about to say, what is this, criminal on criminal type shit or what? And went to the Montefiore Medical Center for pain for a broken ankle, but decided to go home, according to police. She died February 21st from a blood clot, a result of the fractured ankle, according to authorities. Oh, okay. Harney was also charged with robbery and assault and is due back in Bronx criminal court on March 4th. Cops released photos of the 2 others and are still being sought by the NYPD. Oh, yeah. They caught the Black Thug Thought real quick. Them two Cardi B rejects, they on the run. But anyway, guys, yeah, man, these poor excuses for human beings, they're not only poor financially, they're just poor mentally, socially, they're just, so, just internally, they're just rotten. Okay. And they're out here. They're out here. They robbed this girl probably because she was dressed well and she looked like, she was somewhat classy. Plus, she was pretty, and they were just jealous, and they figured they just pull some nigga shit, and now this girl is dead. I didn't know that. I was accurate on the robbery part, but I didn't know that they had determined that the blood clot came from her fractured ankle when she fell down from the girls jumping her. But yeah, guys, that's why you got to carry a gun or something. You better be ready. I have a saying, and I say it to myself all the time. If you want to live, you have to be willing to kill. And that's just the world that we live in. Self-defense. Practice it. Own it. Equip yourself to be prepared for it. Because you never know. Talk to you later, guys.